Well, there it is. Witty here. Welcome to another video. Warcraft 3 Reforged leaks aplenty. Well, at least a little. More than we've had in a while. You might notice there's some characters that have been leaked. The Sorceress, Attendees, Tyrande, Huntress, Acolyte, Red Dragon, Cotto Beast, Rider, and Thrall. Yep. The attendees at the ChinaJoy 2019 conference took some pictures, and we have some of those pictures to show to you. So, let's go for it, shall we? Let's take a look at the Sorceress first of all. I took the liberty of also showing a little bit of the original model. So, if we do that... Oh yeah, there you go. Now you got some of the original model, and we can put her in a little bit of a pose. Yeah, see what she sort of looks like. Bit of the old slow-mo. Be careful where you pause it on that one. So we can try to shift her over a little bit so you can kind of get an idea. It's the comparisons. So these models are obviously way more hyper-realistic than what you're probably used to. As you can tell, the Sorceress, the original one that you're seeing floating around, is obviously a lot more cartoony. And she might be arguably more endowed in certain places, but of course this has been announced in China, and China do have some limitations, shall we say, as to what they can display, be it blood or otherwise. So you may have noticed that actually Hearthstone had to make a bunch of changes as well to some of their original artwork and their cards, because it wouldn't fit in with the Chinese audience. So we've got to be a little bit cautious with that. Not that we can really do anything about it, because let's face it, Warcraft 3 Reforged is for China. That's the direction Blizzard are going with, and we've just got to like it and lump it. So hopefully China will be good to us and let us have some of the things that we do enjoy in life. And the Sorceress still looks good. Still looks good. So I'm liking the artwork here for almost all the pictures I've seen. Obviously, this isn't like official. This is just a picture taken, so it's not the clearest quality that you can imagine, but you can probably get the idea of what's going on. So the Sorceress is a human caster. She casts slow, invisibility, polymorph. She's a blood elf. Well, she's not a blood elf. She's a high elf, shall we say. There are differences, let's face it. Sometimes their eyes glow yellow, sometimes not. But either way, she's a powerful caster, and she looks the part, I would say here. She's got those sort of knee-high boots, the glowing gown that drifts behind her, and those sort of pointy shoulder pads. And she looks the part, the nice tiara. So they are definitely sticking to the original art with this, but obviously bringing it to a more realistic proportion. And she looks great, to be quite frank with you. I'm very much liking how she looks here, and I don't think there's too much else to say about that. She just definitely looks like a sorceress. She looks the part. She looks like she could be a hero on her own, you know? So she stands her ground, and I like that. So if we move on to our next character, we have Attendees, my boy. So this picture's a bit more blurry, but bear with me. We will take a look. We have an Archmage here, and we'll put him into a pose that is a bit more applicable to what we're seeing. Oh yeah, that looks pretty good. How do you look? So let me take the green screen bit off first so you can have a look, and then I'll include it. So here's Attendees. He is holding a nice glowing staff, looking very powerful indeed. Very regal, very up himself, which he should be, because the damn guy is good, alright? He has a reason to be egocentric. And I love that about Attendees. He's like, what are you doing? What? You know, don't waste my time. That's basically the kind of guy he is. If you're going to use me well. So let's stick on the old comparison here. Right in front. So what I'll try to do is I'll move him sort of like slightly to the side so he's not blocking the original picture too much. But you can still get a really good gist. So you can see the horse is actually still dark. So they share the same similarities, but of course the new Reforged model is far more decorated. All of the glowing gowns, the luscious hair on the horse from the mane, it's all over the place. The armor, the cloth clothing, it's got a helmet. And even Antonidas himself is wearing quite a lot more equipment in this. So the original Antonidas, if we take a look, you can see that's what he looks like. Looks the part, no doubt about it. Remember, this is old school Warcraft 3. But if you take that off, he obviously has a much more grandiose appearance. And I like it. I do. I'm actually really happy with a lot of these models. They are definitely an improvement. And there's no doubt about that. It is very good. Let's have a look, shall we? So he's got his boots, he's got his belt. Yeah, he looks good. You know, he looks like he's in charge, and that's what you want. We'll move on to the next model. Next model is Tyrande. So this is one of the biggest changes you are ever gonna see, alright? If you're enjoying this content, by the way, make sure to subscribe and like the video, because there's plenty more Warcraft 3 Reforged content that I'm working on right now, and I'm looking forward to bringing out in the near future. So make sure you stay tuned, notified to the channel, hit the bell, and let me know what you think about what you've seen so far. And prepare yourself for this one, because this is going to be rough. Okay, so get a good look at Tyrande there. She's looking good, yeah? Right? I don't know if you quite realize just how basic the original model of Tyrande is in Warcraft 3. I've seen it because I got access to this viewer, but oh my goodness. The tiger looks good, to be fair, but let's just get a little look at the old face. Oh my god. Yep, that is Tyrande. So let's stick her over to the side so you can get a bit of a comparison here. Let's put her in a bit of a pose. Yeah, she's standing ready. Look at that. Rawr. She's having a nice stretch. So the picture from the conference, the Reforged, actually she looks quite like Heroes of the Storm comparison. Obviously not in Heroes of the Storm. She's not riding a tiger, but how she sort of looks posed on the tiger. She reminds me very much of that. I don't know if her hair's supposed to be a bit darker though. It looks kind of greenish there. I think she's supposed to have like midnight blue hair, but this is really getting a bit more specific lore-wise. The tiger looks fantastic. It's just like, you mess with me, you mess with Tyrande, you mess with everyone, you're gonna get it, let's face it. She looks very much in control and very poised. So the bow looks fantastic, very much elvenish, got those beautiful sort of flowing feathers, sort of like, and the tiger, the aspect of it, the size, the length, it all looks right, to be quite frank with you. It looks ferocious, but not so gigantically massive that, you know, she couldn't control it. So I'm liking this. A huge improvement on the model that we have at the moment. So that's what Blizzard obviously went for. When you were watching this in Warcraft 3, you're looking at the model at about that size. So it looks more the part. But when you zoom in to really see the detail, it's pretty basic. So you look at the mouth of the new model, and we're going to appreciate the mouth for this model. See if I can get him to attack. Attack! Oh yeah, flappy jaws. That's what we're dealing with right now. Get in there. Flappy jaws. So his eyes are missing because of the green screen. Bear that in mind. I've green screened the background out, which is green, so his eyes are kind of greenish. So his eyes wouldn't look that horrific, but his mouth does look that horrific. So yeah, that's Tyrande. So let's move on to the next one. The Huntress. So much like Tyrande, a night elf on a Huntress mount. Very, very devastating, very deadly. Night sabers, I think they're known as. I might be incorrect there. So she looks great. The glaive looks super threatening. I don't know how she's able to store multiples of those, because, you know, they typically throw them at their enemies. So where does she store them on the tiger? I don't know. But either way, it looks great. It looks ferocious. It's ready to pounce. It's got that power. she's leaning forward. She's got that, you know, that angular structure to her that says she knows what she's doing. She does this every day. She goes riding out, hunting people down. It's in the name. She is leading to the part. She looks much more like a stereotypical night elf. Actually, a little bit more armored than they can sometimes be. But at the same time, sticking to that sort of like less clothes, but good in a good way. Because they are more naturalistic, the night elves. So they would be in such a fashion. So we're going to take a look at the original model here. Let's get her to stand. There we go. Okay. So here's the original model. Try to stick her to the side a little bit more. You get more of an idea. So if you see the original model looks fantastic as well, to be quite frank with you. It's pretty basic in terms of the panther's details. So obviously the newer panther is a bit more artistic. It's got more sort of fur, visible indentations from like battles that it might have had. So it's looking good. Let's stick it into an attack. Rawr. Yeah, there you go. So that looks the part. She does what she needs to do. There's a shield on the other side. So I don't know what her shield looks like in Reforged because we can't see it. That's on the other side of her. If she's wearing a shield at all. I would think she is because it looks like there's a little bit of green bit past the neck armor that the Huntress is wearing. So all in all, pretty straightforward one. This is a Huntress. It looks like a Huntress. You can't go too far wrong with that. Let's face it. They've done their job there. So let's move on to the next one. Acolyte. Now this is a favorite for many. My life for Nazul. Very, very cool. Very cool. I mean, the mist, the atmosphere, the giving animation of it is also something to take into account. Just how he's posed, his hand reaching out, the other hand almost grasping backwards. You know, it looks great, and the gown is flowing. It has that undead vibe to it, that sort of fabric. It's like, it looks very ministerial. I don't know if that's the right word. It's very priestly, but in a very dark manner. The mouthpiece, the covering, the helmet. It's not a helmet. It's like a hood. It just looks fantastic. Let's face it. This guy looks badass. The huge skull coming down the bottom of the cloak, or the cloth piece, the dress. I don't know what the hell to call the damn thing. I just know it looks good. So we're going to take a look at the original model, which is also very good. And you can sort of get a bit of a comparison. I'll see if I can get him holding his hands out or something. He does like this kind of funny attack, where he sort of like almost does a Captain Kirk style attack. You'll see in a moment. Smack. But there's the original model. So he's like, you can see the cloak. Obviously way more cartoony. But he's got a huge ritual dagger. Where's the ritual dagger in the new Reforged? I don't see one actually. Which is a bit of a shame because that ritual dagger looks freaking badass. He obviously never uses it. He uses his hands when he attacks, as you can see. He looks very diseased as well here. Very diseased. And not very well. But he does what he does for Nazul. And the original, the new model is actually looking a little bit diseased too. Which is how it should look. It's like humanoid, but somewhat gone halfway towards the undead. You can see in his eyes, they're not quite right. There's a palish green to it. So the composition is correct. They're doing a great job, actually. So, oh, wow. That's very glowy. Let's come off of that one. Alright, he's given up. And so have I. I'm going to move on to the next one. Red Dragon. Okay. Look at this bad boy. That's got a Deathwing vibe to it. My goodness, does that look good. Like, seriously, does that look good? The fire looks devastating. The dragon looks in control. I'd say the wings almost look a little bit small. But I don't think that's really a huge deal. I think they would need to be a little bit bigger. But then again, you have to take into account sort of how they would play. If their wings are gigantically massive, they might actually block like the entire screen. Do you see what I'm coming from? I played a custom game called Favor. It's like an altered melee, and it's got the sounds from Age of Empires, but it's got more of a medieval vibe with red dragons in it, and the models on those look fantastic actually, but they're massive, these dragons. If you haven't seen it, go to youtube.com/WTiiWarcraft, where you're probably watching this from anyway, and yeah, look up Favor, Favor, and you'll see what I mean. Towards the end of the video, I'm flying a bunch of these dragons, but their wingspan is so massive, they're taking up the entire screen. So maybe for gameplay purposes, the wings should be a bit smaller. It's even got like the sort of bony, spiky tail at the back, which is more reminiscent of the World of Warcraft dragons, because we know it's supposed to tie in a bit more with World of Warcraft, what they're trying to do. So let me go find the red dragon for you. Here he is. Okay, we got him. Boom. So this is actually, like the Priestess of the Moon, one of my least favorite models. At least with the Priestess of the Moon, the tiger looks good. I think the original Warcraft 3 dragon looks janky as all hell. It served its purpose and it's been fine. I've never really complained about it, but if I was being honest, I would say I'm not a huge fan of how this thing looks. Its legs, its proportions. It looks really freaking weird. None of the dragons look right. The drakes, the little baby dragons. However, of course, I love it because it's Warcraft 3 nonetheless. But I definitely, very much so, like this new dragon a lot more. So there's the fiery attack. If we get him like in the pose. So like breathing out. And then push him like over here. So that's the original. Then you got the new model. So the original to the new model. I mean, wow, that new model is something else. You would not mess with that dragon. This dragon you could probably take in a fist fight. That dragon, you're gonna like want to evacuate the entire city. Let's move on to the Cotto Beast rider. Now, I've got to swap over the green screen because the orcs, they have... Oops. Let's sort the filter out for that. It's reset itself. Magenta. And change the background color on that to a more purple. So now by doing this, that is good. Yeah, so orcs have green skin. So if I show off with the green screen background, it's going to look weird and their faces won't look right. So this is the closest I can get to showing off the original model. Some bits I have to change the team color because otherwise some of the bits don't actually show up. There you go. So we've got green for the green orcs. So here's the original Cotto Beast. He's got a dunce cap on for some reason. I suppose that's supposed to be a horn. And if you actually look at the new one, he actually looks a bit of a dummy as well. He's not looking like he's taking so much care of himself as the grunts would have done. He's looking a little bit more slack-jawed, so to speak. He serves the Horde, but in a very different manner. He just likes to beat drums. That Cotto Beast looks freaking scary, man. It's a very Jurassic-looking face. So let's bring in the old school one again. Let's pull this back out. Move this over here. So you can kind of get a vibe. If we do like a Cotto walk-in, you can see how it might move. This is how the original moves. Yeah. I really like the new Cotto. He's so decorated. You can actually see in the OG one, I guess these bits are supposed to be like the chains that you're currently seeing on the new model. So look on the new model, the chains around the top of the neck. But the new model's got so much more decoration. Like, it's got the sort of the logs, the spears in the background look freaking fantastic with a sort of tattered banner. He's using his axes, but he uses the back of the axe to smack the drums. That is so orcish. It's unbelievable. So he's not even using like proper drum battens or whatever they're called. And that's what the original does as well. He's actually got little axes too, as you can see. I really like it. I mean, the headpiece on the Cotto to sort of like steer it it is just a war machine. Fantastic. Really, really great job. So there's the new model. Looking great. Now, last but not least, we have Thrall. Perhaps one of the most changed looking characters. My goodness. It's hard to tell which one's more ferocious. Thrall or the wolf. They both look absolutely mental. Like I just insulted his sister or something. And he's just livid. He's going to take it out on me. I was like, it's just a joke. It's just a prank. So, yeah, you might notice there's a few things going on with Thrall. He's got those big braids, which very reminiscent. He's got that very sort of like large jaw snarl that he has. The war pauldrons. That's looking fantastic. I think it's Snow Song is the wolf that he rides, or at least lore-wise it is, but I'm not sure if that wolf is the same wolf as Snow Song in Warcraft 3 whatnot. But they look great. They look fantastic. The hammer is massive. He is compensating for something. But I don't disagree with this choice to make that hammer massive, because I've read the books, and the Warcraft 3 Doomhammer, even the World of Warcraft one, is actually kind of small. It's more like a one-hand mace. But of course, Thrall is so powerful, he can wield it in one hand, but it looks more like a two-hand, mace. It would, a two-hand hammer. It would, because how it's described, how it's shown in the Warcraft movie, I forgot his bloody buddy's name now, which is really infuriating. But Duratan, that's the dad. Oh my goodness, I'm not going to remember the name now. Oh, that's annoying. But anyway, the Orgrimmar. Is that his name? Orgrimmar. Doomhammer. Yes, that is it. Yeah, that dude. It would be a massive hammer. He would smash alliances in one piece, like an alliance soldier in one blow. So I actually agree more with this larger 1 to slash 2-hand looking hammer that Thrall is wielding right now. I think this is actually absolutely fine. Some people might question it, but if we look at the original model, which you will see now, here we have Thrall, and look at that hammer. It is large, but it's nowhere near as sort of lengthy, and that's what I was thinking. It's more of a one-handed hammer in the original, but in this new picture, it looks like you could really swing that around and take out multiple opponents. So I'm very much a fan of that. So here's Thrall. Let's stick him into an attack looking pose. So there's the wolf running. Oh, that's good. Let's pause it there. There you go. So that's the original Thrall. Looking menacing, but obviously a lot more basic. The wolf actually looks quite similar. So if you move this wolf over. Yeah, I got a lot of similarities going on there. We're missing the thunder though, coming from the hammer. But I'm very much liking it. I think this new Thrall looks really, really good. Really bloody good. Just look at that. Oh yeah. That new Thrall. And then the original, which is still great. But the new Thrall, like you can see there, that he is kitted up to destroy an entire civilization. The Alliance civilization, I think. Right. That is what we have leak-wise. I hope you have very much enjoyed this video. Once again, make sure to thumbs up the video, like it if you have enjoyed it, and subscribe for more Warcraft 3 content. This is WTii signing out. Thank you guys for watching, and have a fantastic day. Take care.